Welcome to the asteroid belt. So every year I learn a little bit something new about space. And to this year, I think it really struck me how much I was remembering about the asteroid belt. So I hope you've been thinking about it and that you've already worked through your flashcards from the Go Conquer site. They're pretty neat and they come with great pictures. So in this first video, what I'm doing is I want to show you that before Mrs. Smith even reads this paper, I go over the questions. Now the reason why I'm going over the questions is because I want to look for key terms to help me answer the questions as I'm reading. Now it is definitely okay to read the questions, but the problem is then, after you read the questions, many times you're not going to remember exactly where the answers were the first time. So then you have to go back and read it again. And I don't know about you, but sometimes when Mrs. Smith is trying to do things quickly, I don't have time to read it 4 or 5 times. So why not develop a little trick to help me to figure out what I need to answer first and then read what I need to. Now, in this case, this is first grade. You know, we have one paper, it's got 3 paragraphs. It's not too bad, but eventually, 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade, your stories will be much longer. And so you want to have little tricks to help you get through it a little bit quicker. All right, so the first step I want to show you here is I'm going to read the question. So this is question 1. It says, describe how an asteroid is formed. Name at least 2 ways. So one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to highlight, and I want you to do this with me, the key terms that I'm going to look for as I'm reading. So the first key term that I'm going to look for is this phrase, how an asteroid is formed. So I want to look for the word formed, created, made, any of those synonyms. And then I need to remember that they want to show at least 2 ways. So even if I find one way and I mark the number 1 for question 1, I need to think to myself, okay, I definitely need 2 ways though, so I need to mark a second number 1 to answer that question. How about question 2? How do scientists know that asteroids collide into each other and break apart into smaller pieces? So here is the first phrase, asteroids collide. And we know collide means to come together, usually with force. And then the second part is we're looking for maybe the term to break apart into smaller pieces. So after the collision, something happens. All right, number 3, why would it be hard to pass through an asteroid belt? So the first phrase is hard to pass. That's interesting. Why is it hard to pass through an asteroid belt? So I'm looking for something that's trying to go through the asteroid belt. I might be looking for the word pass, the word through, something that shows me moving in that direction. All right, and then at the bottom, they ask you about this thing called race, which we haven't really done together using those terms, but this is something that you've done with me, and now that's something you've done during distance learning. So race, the R means to reword or restate the question or prompt. So that's one way we can develop complete sentences, which is number 2, answer A, incomplete sentences. The easiest way to do that is to restate the question. As you get older, the teacher's probably going to say to you, do not restate the question. You need to form your own thought. But we're going to start here. So it's okay to rephrase the question when we're starting. Number 3, the C, we have cite evidence to prove your answer. That means that I can't read this, then think, oh, I know the answer, and just start writing. I need to find it in the text. I need to find where the author wrote that, or the scientist or whomever, and I need to make sure that I'm coming directly from the text. I can't just pull it out of my head, okay? And then E, for the end of race, we have explain your thinking and your answer choice. So that means that I can't just write, asteroid belts are hard to pass through, period. I need to say why. So I need to look in the text and find why. And make sure that if someone asked me, did you explain why it's hard to pass through? I could say, yes, this is the answer and this is where I found it. Okay, so this next step is for you to go through and read this text. Now I'm going to post a second video where I'm going to read through it with you, and I'm going to read through it once with you. Then I'm going to find where the answers are. So you might want to read through it first, just try it out, and then go back to me, and then we'll figure out the answers together. Okay, all right, have fun. See you soon.